Hello everyone and welcome back to Learn to Love DIY. Today this is what we're going to be creating. I do believe it's called a Fun Fold Z card. And this is what it will end up looking like once we are complete. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and show you the items I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using the Bonanza Buddies stamp set, as well as the Bonanza Buddies dies, or the Bonanza dies. I've already taken out the ones that I'm going to be using for this card. I'll be using the lion. This is the fur that goes around his head, and the toucan. And then I'll be using several of the stamps in the stamp set. I'll be using these two here, his little face, the toucan, the happy birthday, and let's celebrate you. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's see. So I've written down everything that you're going to be needing for this card. I am using this cardstock here, which is Mango Melody, for our card base, and this is cut at 5.5 by 11 inches. And then this is the sampler DSP that I received as a gift for becoming a new Stampin' Up demonstrator for 2020, and this is a 6x6, and it's actually going to take us just the one piece, and we'll be able to get the background here as well as this piece, and then we'll have a little bit of extra left over as well. You'll need that. You're also going to need a very, very tiny square for our sentiment, our happy birthday sentiment here, and this measures 1.5 by 1.5 inches. And then I have some scraps for when we stamp our lion and our toucan. Alright, and then, oh, actually this one, no, let me see, I'm missing a piece here. I'll figure it out. You're also going to be needing this piece here. I'm using Whisper White, and you'll need that piece to be 6.5 by 3.5 inches. And we're going to go ahead and start scoring our layers. Let me see if this is the piece that I was missing. 6.5 by 3.5. Oh, here we have it. Okay. So before I go ahead and score, I think I'm going to go ahead and do the stamping now. That way they have a little bit of time to be sitting. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and do the happy birthday sentiment. Tap it a few times until I think I've got it. Okay, and then I did stamp this at an angle to leave a little bit of room for the rhinestones I'll be using. And then just try to cinch it and leave it on for a few seconds, and then just go ahead and take it off and see. Such a lovely image. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and continue on and do the other ones. I'm going to go ahead and do the daffodil delight for the lion's body. Let's cover this guy here. Wonderful. And now let's go ahead and do the fur, and let's see if it'll actually fit on the side. it will. Okay, let's do it sideways, and we're going to go ahead and do his fur now. Alright, and let's go ahead and put these away. And I'm going to come back with the memento, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can stamp our toucan. Will this guy fit here? No. Alright. So we have these two little guys. And let's go back in and do the toucan. Since it has solid pieces, I'm going to go ahead and make sure it gets completely filled in. And let's try to stamp it and see how this comes out. And like the other images, just make sure you're pressing for a few seconds before you release it. And there we go. Okay, let's put that away. And I'll be right back in just a few seconds. Alright guys, sorry about the interruption. My daughter was coming to me with a couple of things. I'm going to go ahead and score the 5.5 by 11 base here in the Mango Melody, and you're going to go ahead and score this piece of paper. Actually, you're going to score both of these, the Mango Melody and the Whisper White, in the same manner. So you're going to go ahead and score it at 2 1/8. Go ahead, make sure it's lined up. 2 1/8, and then you're going to also score it at 4 1/4. Okay, so there you have it. And then you're going to do the same for your Whisper White piece. The 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. Okay, so there you have that. Okay, let me put this away, and then once you go ahead and have these scored, you're going to go ahead and varnish. Let me take my, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to take both of these pieces and I'm going to go ahead and varnish. I'm going to do the base first. Okay, so you have it like this, just like a regular card would be, and now you're going to actually fold this one backwards. Okay, and this creates the fun fold piece. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same for this one, and this is what they mean by Z-fold, or well, we call it a fun fold Z-fold card. And then you're going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to do one layer over, and then one the same. It'll look like a Z as well. Okay, and you're going to take the one that has a longer piece, and that's the one that's going to go ahead and be placed on here once you put on your GSP. Just like that. Okay. So the next step is for us to go ahead and cut our GSP, and I'm going to be using the mini trimmer. Also from my starter kit. And this GSP, you're going to be cutting the larger piece that will be for the background here at 4 inches by 5 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and cut at 4. And then we're going to go ahead, and since this is 6 inches long, we're going to cut 3/4 off this way. I'll get it in there. I am using this clear piece here, and this is so that you're able to go ahead and hold it down while you trim it. Okay, so there we have it, our 4 by 5 1/4 piece. So it'll serve as our background. And then we're going to go ahead and cut our second piece, which would be 2 inches by 3.5. So let's go ahead and make that cut. So 3.5. Okay, so technically, this is what you have left over. And you could probably use that for a different card, or as it is, it's just very minimal waste in general. So you're able to create with the full 12 by 12 sheet from the DSP cardstock. I'm sorry, the DSP. You can actually make 4 cards in the same manner. Anyway, okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start adhering our pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and use my multi-purpose liquid glue, my Tombow, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the background piece first. And I like this print more than I do this one. However, this is just as fun. I just thought that since I was going to use some of the little characters, this would be funner. And because it is a birthday card, kind of gives it that extra little design that you kind of want for a birthday. It's a fun birthday card. Okay. And remember that you have some wiggle room, but you don't have sometimes a lot to play with. So it gives it a little bit of an even border all around. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same for this guy. Just double checking that I cut that right. I think it needs to be cut a sliver more. I think I might have measured it a bit wrong. So we're just going to go ahead and wing it. And just cut off a little bit less and see if that'll work. Okay. Maybe just a little bit more. Okay. That should be good. Oh yeah. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do the same for this one. We're going to go ahead and adhere it. And this adhesive, although it is liquid glue, it's very strong, so you don't have to worry about putting too much. You want to put enough to adhere the card. Okay, and for this next step, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this background piece first before I go ahead and adhere this piece onto the flap here. Just because I think that's easier for me, but you can kind of figure out what works for you. And all you're doing really is centering it. And I'm hoping I'm getting this right. Because of the glue. Okay. I think I got it just right. And then as I said, you're going to go ahead and do the flap here. This is just about as much as I saw. See, that's the fun piece. And you know what? I actually forgot to stamp our sentiment here in the middle. So let's see if we can attempt to do that and see how that comes out. Or I'm going to maybe have to do something else to touch that. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and use our Stampin' Dimensionals here to go ahead and attach our sentiment in the front. Need more practice with these guys. Okay. So as you see here, I kind of put it towards the bottom. However, you can see what will work best for you. Okay. And for the sake of time, I went ahead and already pre-cut and assembled my pieces, and then we're going to go ahead and also attach these with dimensionals. And I'll be using 2. However, you can use any of the images that come with the stamp set. This is the way that I designed it, and I think it turned out good. However, as I said, you can play with it and figure out which ones you think would look good. So this one in particular, I went ahead and used the dimensional towards the bottom here because this piece here is up in the air. So we're going to go ahead and put it towards the bottom and peeled it. And then for his beak, just to let you guys know, I did use the dark petal pink as well as the light Daffodil Delight. And then I did a darker shade of the Daffodil Delight on the top, and then the lighter version are just the ones over on the bottom there. Went ahead and peeled that, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that he's centered there. Okay, and I decided to do this portion here white just because that would leave the person providing the card or gifting the card with room to go ahead and write their wishes on there. And then all we are missing are the rhinestones. And I'm using these here. They're the Holiday Rhinestone Basic Jewels, and I'll be using these guys here. Let me go ahead and... So I'm going to be using these to go ahead and attach them to my card. And I decided to do 2 rhinestones. You may decide not to do a rhinestone and maybe do ribbon. Oops. It's really up to you. You can totally customize this card. Okay, so there you have it, guys. This is my card. Now, if you did want to go ahead and go back, don't do what I did and attach this first, but go ahead and stamp your sentiment first. However, if you did want to go ahead and something like this or something similar happened to you, you can go back and cut a piece of Whisper white to the size of the sentiment and just go ahead and attach it here. That's also something that you guys can go ahead and do as an option. So here you have it, guys. These are my 2 cards that we've just created today. It's very fun, very simple. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can leave a comment in the comment section below, or you can reach me on any of my other medias, Instagram, Facebook, and please let me know what you guys thought. Thank you very much for joining me today, and you guys have a pleasant evening.